Hello everyone and welcome back to another POV. I haven't done one of these in forever. I'm gonna get off the side of the road now. And we are here in the Corolla XRS with the stock ECU today. Last year I installed the Monkey Wrench Racing ECU and now I've switched back to stock for no particular reason really, besides I kind of just wanted to experience the stock ECU on this car again. Now if you don't know, the stock ECU on this car sets the lift engagement at 65 or 6800. It's really high up there. And the Monkey Wrench ECU brings the lift engagement down to 5800, which is good, but the car also does feel a little bit more tame. I forgot how aggressive you have to actually drive this car in order to hit lift in stock form. It's actually very fun. Just do a little downshift, downshift again, downshift again, and here we go. All the way up. It does feel much better. Lift kicks harder with this exhaust than with the old exhaust I had on there. I've never driven this car with the stock ECU and the MagnaFlow catback. I've only driven it with that really poorly put together stock exhaust that I had on here before. So the lift engagement with the stock ECU feels even more aggressive now, which is it's awesome. I love it. I will go back to the Monkey Wrench ECU once I get tired of this one again. But this is why I kept the stock ECU, because I figured there was going to come a day where I wanted to just feel how the stock ECU drove again. So here we are. Today I wanted to talk about this car and what my plans are for it going forward, because I haven't made a video on this car in over a month. The last video I did was installing the Energy Suspension polyurethane motor mounts, which I am very happy with. I'm loving them. The only problem is that at around 3000 RPM, my dashboard is slightly rattly. I might end up pulling the dashboard and putting some sound deadening on it to make that go away. Easier said than done, of course. Pulling a dashboard can be quite tricky, but that's something that I've been thinking about to get rid of the little rattle noise up here. The one thing that I just can't get over with the stock ECU though is that when you shift to second gear, you don't land and lift. With the Monkey Wrench ECU, it's low enough to where you shift to second or you shift to third, you'll stay in lift. This one's a no-no. So this year is going to be a very big year for this car, just like how last year was a very big year for the Turbo Corolla. Because this year, I am absolutely planning to supercharge this car. Yes, it is going to happen. I'm very excited to make it happen. It will be incredible to have two different styles of forced induction on two different Corollas. And the reason it's happening this year is because Monkey Wrench Racing has just released their supercharger kit for this car, as well as for all the other 2ZZ powered cars, which is super awesome. I've been looking around for a Greddy supercharger for a while, and well, now Monkey Wrench Racing has come into play. I don't really need to look super hard for a supercharger now. So that is a big plan I've got for this car. I'm not sure exactly when this year I want to do it. I kind of want to supercharge this car a bit earlier in the year than when I did the Turbo Corolla. I turbocharged the Blue Corolla back in November, which it is towards the end of the year. And with these cars, I don't really drive them a lot during the winter. And like with the Blue Corolla and even this car now, I'm not really driving them much in the winter. So the Turbo Corolla, I haven't even put 1,000 miles on it yet, just because I don't really drive that car in the winter time. And so during the winter, I really only just drive one car. For most of this winter, I've been driving the Highlander around, which you might have seen in the last video. That car is really nice to drive in winter. It's high ground clearance, it's an SUV, it's quiet. And that car's just a nice daily, especially when the weather is not super nice. So this car, giving it some forced induction, supercharging it, I'd like to do it sometime in the summer. maybe even in the spring. That would be super cool, but we'll have to see how things play out. I've got a couple small bits I want to install in this car first, and then the other thing, this car obviously is still stock flywheel, stock clutch, and that's not necessarily the greatest combo when it's time to go force induction. The turbo Corolla was alright because it's automatic. It's not like I could really increase the strength of it even if I wanted to. But with this car being a manual, I would expect that the second I throw a supercharger on it, the clutch is probably going to start slipping. And that's not really ideal, is it? Now there's two ways I've been thinking about going about force induction on this car. And that's one, I can either upgrade clutch and flywheel first and then supercharge it, which is the preferred method, or two, I can supercharge it first and then change the clutch and flywheel, which is the more experimental way of going about it. And I'm kind of leaning towards the latter. I know that supercharging it on a stock clutch, not ideal, but at the same time, it's kind of similar to what I've been doing with the turbo Corolla. I purposely turbocharged that car when it was still automatic, just to see what it could do and just to see how it would hold up. And I kind of want to do the same thing on this car, supercharge it first and just see how the stock clutch holds up and share with you guys how the stock clutch holds up. So if you guys are interested in supercharging your XRS or any of your 2ZZ cars, then with my experiences and the videos I'll make with it, you can have a better idea of what route you want to go with your car. I mean, regardless, I'm planning on doing all of this stuff anyway, so I'm not sure that the order I do all of this in really matters, which is why I've been leaning towards experimenting a little bit and throwing more power at this car on a stock clutch and seeing what happens. I think it would be nice to see, and then it would also kind of give confirmation as to whether supercharging an XRS with a stock clutch is reasonable, or if you definitely need to change the clutch before you go force induction. So that's my big goal for this car. Now, of course, simultaneously, I'm also going to be dialing in the turbo Corolla. Of course, the Subaru will also be progressing. Pretty much by the end of this year, I want to be very happy with where all of the cars are. Well, I mean, I guess with the exception of the Miata, but that's because that car's not in the state right now. I do have to say though, the stock ECU is just so aggressive with how high up lift is. I mean, I really enjoy the monkey wrench ECU, but you know, the stock ECU really has some character to it. I have to give it that. That's the dashboard rattle that I was talking about. Slightly annoying. I mean, most of the time when I drive, I have the radio on, so it's not like I really hear this all that well, but it is still slightly annoying. Shut up. Is it not? Wait, is it not even my dashboard? It's my mirror. It's my mirror the whole time? Really? It sounded like it was coming underneath the dashboard. That's really funny. And now it's just gone away. I've just moved the mirror slightly and now it's gone away. Probably a screw I can tighten up there. What the hell? How does this noise come from up here and sound like it's coming from underneath the dashboard? Maybe I just don't have a good sense of hearing. That is going to be it for this video. Big goal with the XRS, get it supercharged, have 2 forced induction Corollas on the channel. That'll be super fun. Thank you all very much for joining me today. Apologies for missing uploading all of last week. Sometimes life just gets in the way a little bit. It is what it is. I did mention this on my community tab. If I miss an upload, I'm not gonna make a big fuss about it. I'll just post whenever the next video is ready. Thanks everyone, and goodbye.